Hello, everyone. Today I'm joined with a beautiful guest who we had a really good email exchange and a lot of love and compassion. And today we're going to have an anonymous interview. How are you?
I'm good, Manny.
So, before we start, would you like to give us any background information, maybe where you're from or how your childhood was, whether you were
Yeah.
always connected spiritually or this was all new. Because there are some DFs who are
Oh,
never, like, they've never been spiritual and then they meet the DF as the first time.
yeah. Actually, I am from India, from Punjab.
Oh, same as my family, yeah.
Yeah. So my journey, I think it was very early on, right from the birth, I think. I was around 5 to 6 when I used to go to temples and sit in silence for some time every day. My parents used to wonder that she is so religious and spiritual, and I always felt that there is somebody is taking care of me. There is some divine that is taking care of me in early childhood, and it went on actually. And my childhood was extremely tough. My mother had a OCD when I was born, and it was extreme OCD with the 12 kinds of phobias, different phobias she had. And we had a very difficult life, my brother and me. And my father was very reserved, the family was very reserved, and he used to physically hit my mother. And I faced those things, that abuse, everything. I saw it with my eyes only. And my mother was, because she was mentally ill, she was not able to take care of us properly. And there were a lot of trauma in my childhood. And I put that all that energy into my studies till 10th. I was a brilliant student. I never used to sit back and think what is going around my home. I channelized all that energy into my studies. After 10th, something was like off for me. I used to think that there is I need answers for all the misery I am facing, and I knew all the answers will be from God only. So I sat for deep meditations when I was in I did non medical. uh, then I sat for deep meditations. I used to sit in the morning. After 1 month of focusing on my breath, the Vipassana meditation, we call that Anapanasati.
So,
I had,
before we continue, you
yeah.
said non-medical. What does that mean? You mean qualifications or you mean something else?
It's like when we have to do the entrance exam for engineering.
Yeah,
Um,
because
for
obviously
that, we
you're
have to prepare. In India, we call it non-medical. Yeah,
yeah.
right.
So the rest of
Physics,
the
chemistry,
world
math.
The rest of the world, we
Yeah.
won't know. We don't even know what 10th means or non-medical means. So you're gonna have to be, you got to speak to us like we're just unaware.
Okay.
But carry on.
Okay, okay, sure. Like I was in after 10th, I chose the subjects physics, chemistry, and maths. Though they are for only those people who want to go into the engineering side, right? During that, I used to wake up in the morning, and I did deep meditations of Vipassana, Anapanasati. So after one month
Vipassana
of
is the meditation that the Buddha himself got enlightened with. Yeah.
yeah, for 1 month, I focused on my breath, coming and going, coming and going. And after 1 month, my awakening happened. First awakening. I was 17 years old.
And what happened?
All the energy from my root chakra, I didn't knew what all root chakra and third eye meant at that time. All just I focused on that energy was uprising from my root chakra to the to my forehead, and there was like so much shining, like sun has risen in me. And that continued for 9 months. I used to talk with nature and I got answers. I used to see my grandmother died at that time, and I used to talk to her like she is there only.
So you could
All
see her
this happened.
or you could hear her?
I could see her. I could see her sitting with me, talking to me during those 9 months when I was awake. My third eye opened. But I had huge trauma in my body, and my body and mind were not ready for that awakening. It was very brutal Kundalini awakening. I went into deep depression, and I was not able to function. My mind was not able to function. Like it was so my I felt fluid revolving around in my brain, and I was not able to remember what I had studied in previous years. I didn't even knew the words for simple morning, my name. I didn't knew anything. I just kept crying after that awakening. 9 months after that awakening, it
How
took me
long?
around 2 years to stabilize.
Wow. So like Kundalini, it's not a joke. And then you've got all these sort of like supposed, it's mainly
Yeah.
Western teachers who are giving people awakenings. What do you think about that? It's possible.
Like people think it's some bliss we reach when we awaken our kundli, but it was very brutal, and I had lot of trauma to
Because the
purge.
Kundalini basically it roars, it fires in you to release all that toxicity, low vibration, negativity, but it doesn't happen instantly. It takes a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, it happened. It in my case, it happened in 1 month only. It was my first awakening. After that, when my all this happened, my something like I felt this body like an instrument. I got very psychic. I was guided on during those 9 months, completely guided by some divine voice I used to hear in me. I was completely guided to love, to have compassion, to have kindness, but I was not ready to have that compassion, kindness, and love, either not for myself, neither, nor for anybody else.
It's a very young age
I,
not to have Kundalini.
yeah, I was like, I didn't even knew anything about that. So it was tough for me navigating those years. And after that, my second awakening happened in 2015. My heart chakra opened. Like I left the breathing part. I was so scared of focusing on my breath and keep making it right. uh, I used to see one white woman in white sari moving around the jungle, dark jungles through which she is moving. When I had that depression after the Kundali awakening, that I didn't knew that was called dark night of the soul. That I got to know last year only. That was my
Yeah.
first denote.
Because a lot of these things you go through and you don't even know what they are. Like I feel you. It's the same with me. I didn't know it was Kundalini until afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
And now I am 35. That time I was 17 when I went through all that. I
wow.
got to know last year that it's called denotes.
So all this was going on before you met
Yeah.
your twin flame. So
No,
when did
I
you?
met my twin flame very later. After that, my second awakening also happened. I focused on chanting, chanting Om Namah Shivaya. And 9 days I chanted completely. Like if any other thought came to my mind, I used to push it away and I used to tell myself, you have to chant. And chanted for 9 days, and after that, my heart chakra opened completely. Everybody, every insect that used to come in my vision, I just kept watching it and loving it and blessing it. It was so huge. It lasted for 1.5 year, and it somehow stabilized me a little bit.
Okay. It's intense. It's not.
Yeah. After that, I kept going. I got married in 2014. And I kept going. I daily routine, just life happened. And in 2018, my twin met me. I didn't knew he was my twin. I was his teacher.
Okay.
He's
So
15 years younger than me.
how did you realize?
I realized in December 2023. 2018, he came to me for studying coaching.
Was there
Actually, I was
something
coaching at that.
was there something different about him compared to other people when you first
Yeah.
met?
Yeah, a whole lot. Not on in 2018. There was nothing different. He was just a very rich guy. I taught him, and after that, I stopped coaching because I had my daughter in 2019, and I started in 2021 again my coaching. At that time, when I hit rock bottom after my daughter was born. I also went through OCD, postpartum OCD, after my daughter was born, and no family support was there, and it was very difficult period for me. And during that period in 2021, he came again for coaching, and at first when I saw him in the morning, I gave him morning sessions. His eyes, something was very different about his eyes. It activated me somehow. And after that 3 months, I taught him. After that, I just pushed him away. I cancelled his sessions. In those 3 months, it was very different. Like, I used to keep watching him, that why do I have so much affection for him? How I know him, that I feel so much affection and sexual energy for him. Why do I feel such a feeling for such a small kid? He was actually a kid for me.
And did he feel the same, like energy wise?
Yeah, he felt the same energy.
And what
He told me once that I am his first crush. He had a huge crush on me, and he used to visualize me for 1.5 year when I didn't taught him in between.
and what signs or confirmations did you get?
That time, when I met him after 1 month, uh, I was given a sign by the same voice which used to, the divine voice which I used to hear when I was awakened. That voice told me to be easy with him. I didn't knew the meaning. I was in such a trauma and going through such dark period of my life, and I just ignored that divine voice. Again, that voice came to me, like I heard it, that it's okay, be easy. And I again just uh, pushed that voice away, and I was so emotionally triggered. Like, it was like when he came into my life in 2021, all my wounds which I have healed, because I have already been spiritual journey for so long. I healed myself a lot. I forgave, I healed, I did affirmations, I did different meditations. But those childhood wounds, the hatred for my mother, for my father, for the pain I was holding, that all came to my face. It was like he was pulling something out of me. The mask I was wearing, he was pulling that mask out of me. I didn't knew it was he at that time. I just thought that I was not new to awakenings. I just thought it's just third awakening going on.
It's a different thing though, isn't it, with the twin? Because the purpose of twin flames is to burn away the karma, anything left, you know.
Yeah, I thought I solved all those traumas, and those came to my face like brutal awakening. It was again a brutal thing, because I never uh, felt that much love for anybody,
So
and
then you have,
I was filled with so much shame and guilt because he was my student,
and
and
you were
I was
married.
just, yeah, I was married, and I was feeling those intense feelings, and I was filled with lot of shame and guilt that why I am feeling this way. And I didn't knew what to do with that thing, actually, with that energy, and how to deal with this situation. And he
He
was
puts,
becoming so close. He told me that he loves me, and I didn't knew what to do with all this thing.
he told you within the 3 months or in separation?
At that time only, when he met me in 2021. And after that, he said, and then very next day, when it happened, the very next day, he just said, I don't mean that those words. He started we started like there was a push between us. We were getting separated. There were 15 days gaps, there were 1 month, there was 1 month gap in between our conversations.
So were you his teacher or like a tutor for private, like
I was a
one-to-one?
tutor.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
a tutor. I was
So then you
tutor.
pushed him away. And then what
Yeah.
challenges did you get during separation?
Like when we had very what we say, I'm lacking of word. We had very cozy conversations when we were sitting together, and I was tuting him actually. When I pushed him away, he tried to come into asked his mom to ask me again for tutoring him for like 2 times. After that, I was pushing him, but actually I was obsessing about him also. My whole mind was about him. I used to see, like I don't know, I was seeing him, or I was imagining on the streets, in the park. I used to take my daughter to the park, and I used to see his face in the sky. Like the air used to be filled with his name, actually. It was like that. And I used to actually, my father used to say that brave people don't cry, and I never cried actually. After I pushed him away, I cried for whole 2 3 months. Daily I used to cry after sending my daughter to school. I used to cry a lot, and I just got very light, and my heart chakra again activated, and I
So I
used
find
to feel this. Yeah.
it's almost like being kissed by the divine or being touched by the divine. You kind of get into a different dimension of
Yeah, I
reality.
got into different dimension also. After 3 months, when everything got cleared, all this trauma got cleared, he was in my mind. I was obsessing about him, but it was like I was sorting myself. I didn't knew who he is and why he is coming into my mind. I just in my mind, I tried to sort this all out. That okay, this happened. Okay, I might have loved him so unconditionally that my heart chakra opened. And it is okay to love someone. There is nothing wrong in that. I love him in
Mm.
my heart, but I won't have any touch with him. I won't be in touch with him.
And how do you
So I saw.
differentiate the connection between this soulmate,
Yeah.
karmic, and twin flame?
Uh, uh, Pardon, can you repeat again?
So what's the difference between this connection and soulmates or karmics? Like how did you realize it was a different or also twin flame? What's the difference between them?
Right, that at that time I didn't knew anything. For this was not a connection for me. It was not anything. It was just happening so spontaneously.
And
And
now,
after that,
and now do you
that I
what
came
do you
to
say
one
is
point. Yeah, let me complete. I came to a point where my mind was not thinking. I was at 0 point, and I got into some other dimension where I was told about time. That time is just an illusion and does not exist.
yeah.
I was taken to that dimension. Yeah, and I was healed by different colors. After that, I 1.5 year passed by, and but after that, after 6 months, I saw him in the market. Actually, he lives 1 block away from my house. He used to live there. So I saw him in the market, and he ran away. He ran away as fast he could on his bike, and that hurt me a lot. I got deeply hurt by that. I just want to unconditionally love and just want to see his face, and he goes like that away from me. That day something got killed in me. Like I killed him in my mind. I promised myself that I will never think about him. And it all went by, life went by 1 year, 1.5 year passed by. And suddenly I got a message from him.
Did you manage to block him for in your mind for a year and a half? It's
Yeah,
possible.
I promised myself that I won't think about him.
And
No
that happened.
matter what.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us, if
Yeah.
not all of us, twin flames, the other person's always in the background.
I just told myself, no matter if he comes or not, I won't give it my attention. Let the thoughts come and go.
Did you have any synchronicity?
I hated him. I hated him very much for doing that to me, for running away that fiercely that he ran away from me. Like, I was so ashamed of myself.
Yeah, because you had the age gap. You also had the pupil-tutor relationship. You also had marriage and kid. So there's loads of different things in play. Because each twin flame pair have different challenges, you know. So did you have any powerful synchronicities, any dreams, any
Yeah, I
signs?
used to see his cars numbers everywhere, and like I am sitting in my car, and in front of me, two cars will be there, and both will be having jumbled numbers, but same numbers 1539, 1359. Like it was everywhere, the numbers were coming like anything. And I didn't knew those were angel numbers. That was just happening. I just thought, let it be, yeah, it's just another awakening only. It will pass by.
Any telepathy or dreams?
During that 1.5 year, I didn't have anything. I just blocked him completely. I hated him very much for rejecting me. And after 1.5 year, he came. His text came to me. This 26th December 2023. That was the day he texted me. And we had a huge fight. He said he had feelings for me. He wanted to come back. He said there was some misunderstanding, and I just pushed him away. And it felt like I was kicking him in his stomach to go away. And at that time, my head minor chakra, the chakra at the back of my head, and my third eye chakra started vibrating. And I didn't knew why that is happening. I thought, matlab, what is this? Why is this happening? Why are my chakras vibrating when I was fighting with him over the text? And that went bad. We had a huge fight. I just told him to uh, remove me from his head, that I cannot talk to him and I will never talk to him no matter what. The next day, when I was in the morning, when I wake up, he was the first thing I saw was his face while before opening my eyes. And I just thought, what is this happening? Why is he in my like, why am I seeing his face? I thought I'm visualizing it. After that, I went to my kitchen, and his higher self was standing next to me, holding my waist.
I,
And
I I like this because I get the same. But I speak to quite a lot of so-called twin flames,
yeah,
and they're not able to go to the depths. Now, I wonder if some twin flames don't get as much of this, but you seem to be getting a lot of. Now I'm listening intensively because I have similar things that happen, metaphysical.
man, just a second, I need to take a call. Yeah.
So you saw the
So
higher self in the kitchen.
yeah, his higher self came to me and holded my waist and started having funny conversations with me. And I was like, what the hell is happening to me? Why I am seeing his soul over here? What is happening? And that day on my YouTube feed, it was all about twin flames, ascension, and solar flares. Every feed video was about twin flames, ascension, and solar flares.
Okay, so then you started seeing all these things, and it's weird stuff, right? And then
Yeah, it
you
was
said,
very
were
weird.
there any core wounds that came up that got triggered? You said it was your mother wound and your father wound. And so they came up. How did you heal them, deal with them?
Yeah. There were many emotional wounds other than mother wound, father wound. I had rejection wound also, and I had abandonment wound also. Abandonment was so these were huge wounds for me. And my marriage was also very rough. Although I had a love marriage, but it was very rough marriage.
In sense of the your partner was abusive or not very nice to you?
Yeah, his mother was very difficult to handle for me, and he was also very I can't, like, now I can't say he was like he's a abuser, but I took him that way. My perception of him was like he was abusive to me. He is not an abuser at all.
So what healing practices did you do? Did you do shadow work, meditation?
Yeah, like I already had many. At that time, two books also were like I was called to buy those two books. One book, The Courage to be Disliked, and the other, The Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse.
And what did you
Those
learn
two books.
from that?
Yeah, the first book, The Courage to be Disliked, was all about leaving the not like leaving the need of approval from others.
Hmm.
It completely shifted me to a new dimension. The courage to be different. I was so open. My energy body was opened like by him, and then I just drank those words coming from that book. It completely shifted me life, and I never had the need to get approval from anybody after that. Earlier, I was a people pleaser.
And that's very common for
That
divine feminines to be people pleasers.
yeah,
And then, so as a result of all your inner work,
yeah.
what changes did you see?
Yeah, like I did yogic mudras. When he came into my life in 2018, a book was like at that time also I got this book, the yogic mudras. And I started doing that in 2018. I knew about mudras, but I had my daughter, so I was not able to do mudras at that for 2 years. When this shift happened, I started doing my mudras again. I had very two specific mudras which have helped me very much. One is the mudra for surrender, pranapan mudra.
What
That
does
is
that
called
one look
prana.
like? Okay, if you describe it,
Uh,
maybe I can do it.
yeah, you can just Google it by the name of mudra of surrender.
But what does it look like? Is it like this one or
No, you have to combine your hands. Like it will be perfectly. It's on Google only.
okay? So there's a mudra for surrender. Okay, what was the second mudra?
The mudra is called Bhairavi mudra. There are two mudras, Bhairavi and Bhairav. Bhairav is for balancing the masculine, and Bhairavi is for balancing the feminine.
Okay. So
These two mudras instantly help me.
did you get any mystical, spiritual? You talked about some of them already, but did you get any spiritual gifts? Did you speak to your spirit
Yeah,
guides? Any
I
abilities?
speak to my spirit guides. Yeah,
You speak,
I
you
have
speak them.
ability to see other people's aura. I am a professional pranic healer. I heal people's energy body.
So do you do that online or you do it face to face?
It's a distant. We have to do it online only. Like I just need a photograph and name of that person.
So do you have a website?
No, right now I am in the last phase. Actually, level 5 I'm learning. After that, I'm planning to start it
And so
professionally.
how can people contact you?
Right now, I'm not healing any cases. Like it's my family and my friends only.
When you do, let me know and then I'll put it in the description. Okay?
Yeah, sure,
All
sure.
right. So do you think that you and your divine masculine have a shared mission?
Um, it depends. Like what kind of mission? Together, I don't think we have. Like physically together, we don't have any mission. But his mission is already, I think, completed after triggering me so much and making me the best version of me. In my life, I think his mission is completed.
So are you still married or you are single now?
No, I'm married, but my this relationship has evolved from abuse to divine connection. Right now, my husband is so supportive of me, of everything I do. Like he kisses the floor I walk on.
So you
This
don't want to
person has
be in physical union, you're not so worried about that.
No, I am not worried about physical union. In last year in August, I got my inner union after doing these two mudras. Actually, I had so much information, and when I used to sit in meditation, I felt deep divine connection. But after meditation, I had some alienated feelings because I didn't knew how to integrate that higher level of consciousness into my body and mind. After these mudras for 1 year, I have integrated all that into my mind and
For the
body.
viewers
Now
watching,
it's
how
completely
do
integrated.
for the viewers watching, how do they realize inner union? What is that? Was
Yeah.
it feel?
In August last year, I got my inner union. It was like, for me, it was very clear when I used to do these mudras and deep breathing. I saw my divine masculine and me in one form, like Shiv Shakti, Ardhanarishwar form, we call that.
Hmm.
Half women, half man, Shiva's form. Like
Yes.
that was the form I used to see, and I saw my Merkaba getting activated. Merkaba is a sort of geometric shape. It's a vehicle for the soul. It got activated for me, and I felt so much bliss and peace within me. And I had this need to contact him actually, and he was so in balance talking to me. He was like completely synced with me when we talked. But he came from very dense sexual energy, and also he said he don't feels any kind of connection with me. Nothing he feels for me. It was just whatever he felt was sexual. So I just let him be.
Because before he felt, right? He said, I love you. He said all these things.
Yeah.
And
The very next day, he said that he don't want to talk to me in 2023 also. The very next day, he just like he does not knows me. He again, I saw him passing by from my house, and I was behind him, and he saw him in the rear mirror, and he just like fast and speeded his car and moved away.
did
Right now,
he
he is in London.
did he start to change, or did he explain whether he had any of the signs or synchronicities?
No, no, he didn't told me. We have been talking since last year August. We have been in contact few times. He said he does not feels anything for me, and that I am just delusional. He told me to see a psychiatrist actually.
It's interesting. Do you think he's like that because you're not choosing union? So when the DF chooses not union, external, you chose inner, yeah, but you haven't chose physical union, so you've chose separation. He's chosen
Yeah.
separation too.
Actually, what happened? We were in complete sync after the inner union. We had deep conversations, like as just random conversations about the other students whom I used to tutor and all those people. We had those conversations. And earlier he was very interested in this thing, that how I am. He also felt that I get to know beforehand when he has to he wanted to text me or something. I got to like I was spiritually guided that I will get a message from him today. Also, there's a very interesting thing which happened when I had my inner union. When I was sitting in this Bhairavi Mudra, and 1 hour, 45 minutes, we have to sit in this Mudra. After 45 minutes, his higher self came to me and put his whole hand into my heart chakra and just untangled something in me.
There
And
was
that
something.
day he came to me also for talking. Like he came to my home and we talked for 20 minutes around. And when he went, the time was 1:44.
Do you feel like he's going through a lot of stuff right now?
Yeah, I felt his energy. Last year in June, I felt him crying. I passed by his home. My daughter's school is near his home. So I passed by his home and I felt huge crying actually. For some girl. Actually, he was also had a girlfriend at that time. They broke up and I didn't knew they broke up. He was crying madly inside. And when we contacted later, I told him, why were you crying? What happened? He said, we broke up that time.
So,
I get to numbers like earlier I used to see 369, 963, 693. Then I started seeing after inner union, I started seeing numbers 144, 114, 144, 144, 72, 144. There's one interesting thing also. His car's number is 7272. 44,
so,
144.
so the whole thing about union. So you're saying you're very happy with your partner, your husband, and as you continue to
Yeah.
ascend, he's matching, I guess. But do you feel like are you content with that, or do you feel like you haven't finished the journey
Like
and
actually thing is I felt like beggar in January this year. I told him that we have a connection. It's not just a random thing. Why do you think that I will come after you? I don't need to come after you. He just pushed me away. He said that you are not the only one I have been this way. There are seven other girls also who just call me every day, even if I abuse them, curse them, that I am very like different words
desired?
he used. Yeah, I am very desired by different women. They say I am very charming. My voice is very uh, sensual and everything. That day, something was like, I was like, am I a beggar? Why I
But it's
am
a
begging him?
the typical divine masculine behavior, well, distorted masculine. So what has the journey taught you about you and your divine feminine energy?
Uh, I didn't get your point. Can you repeat again?
What has the journey taught you about the divine feminine energy?
Divine feminine energy. Yeah. So earlier, from my childhood, one thing I learned was discipline. Discipline and action. I was very much into action and disciplined. My divine feminine, I somewhere I just pushed under the rug my feminine side. I was very masculine in my actions, very disciplined, very hardworking. Like I used to get the first position, and I was very focused on that. After these awakening, I got to feel my feminine side. There was initially I had lot of jealousy before my first awakening when I was 15, 16 years old. I worked on every single quality to embed that quality into me and purge myself. Right now I am in a very beautiful position. I am a completely a person who is abundant and magnetizing everything to herself, and I am mostly in my divine feminine
Let's
energy.
finish off with the topic of twin flame, intimate energy or sexual energy. I mean, I call it bliss energy, Kundalini
Yeah.
energy. You talked about
Yeah.
that energy you had, the pull you had with your twin flame. Do you believe
Yeah.
there's like something sacred about that energy between
Very much.
twins? And
Yeah.
how does that affect? So you're currently with a husband, right? Are you able to sustain with him now? You don't feel guilty, or you don't, just for people watching, because some people want to choose high level soulmate. Some people want, they want to do that. So how
Yeah.
is it for you?
It was tough. Like I felt so much sexually love for him that I was not able to see my husband in that way last year. I was
Mm.
so much focused on my masculine. Actually, there was some misconception also on my part that I thought that this is my divine route, my soul's mission. I have to complete it anyway, even if he is distorted. I have to be in touch and take him with me because this is my soul's journey.
But you've
So
cho
this year, yeah, I got through that phase. This year, my divine spirit guides somewhere after 2 months, I contacted him. I was guided to contact him. He was in some difficult situation. I gave him the solution, and then I never contacted him again. Like he told me he has that day I told myself that I'll open my heart for my husband, that I let myself love him and be loved. Same day, he also got a girlfriend.
So you're mirroring each other, right? So you're choosing, because from my perception, you can say, you can disagree. You don't want to leave your husband, so he will mirror that and he will go for someone else.
Maybe. I don't know. But that day, he told me so rudely to back off. I just wanted a simple like acknowledgement of my connection. Because why that he must also feel that connection because it's so blissful and beautiful. But
They
I
don't
didn't
do
got.
that. They don't do that because he's probably not in a blissful place. You probably contacted him when he's going through an awful place. So what advice would you like to
He
give to people watching?
Yeah, so I would like to give one advice. Uh, Actually, this in this journey, like it's like we are two parts of the same instrument. We have different role, they have different role. We must fulfill our role, and that is to rise and shine. Actually, to be the goddess we are, not to beg someone for love. Actually, we have to give that love and share that love also, not with, even if you are not ready to be in the relationship, give it to your friends and family. Just fill other people's cups also with the love you have.
Wow. And is there any misconceptions you want to erase today? You want to bring awareness to
Misconception,
about twin
like
flame?
I think that union is a very like, union is not what we think, like a 3D mind thinks that physically we have to be together, because it's so much triggering. I can't even talk to him for 5 seconds. Before that, we just shut the chat. Actually, that happens. We just leave the chat. That stop, yeah. What is happening? Why are we? We are all. We were at some time we were balanced, and other times we are triggering each other so much. I don't think so. That is feasible to live with this person in physically in that way.
I think they do that until there's no distortions left, and you do it too. And it takes you, you may feel like you've ascended, but it takes you to total ascended master. 0 point
Yeah.
ascension, no blind spots, none, completely pure, like a
Yeah.
saint. Anyway, it's been wonderful talking to you. I really appreciate the fact that you've given us a different perspective, not only a deep perspective into the mystical aspects of the twin flame journey, but also the fact that you happily are choosing your marriage, your high level soulmate, who evolved from a lower version of themselves. And if people don't want to be with their twin flame, you are testament that you're happy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
sharing your journey. It's intimate, and it's vulnerable. But you're doing a great job because you said you're just on the last verges of your training before you start healing others. And energetically with breathing and other various forms. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.